But what I have to ask you is, would you be willing to ride on this lawnmower for 5 weeks?
No.
What? You don't want to go from Iowa to Wisconsin on a lawnmower? Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Pointless Discourse with myself, Hoppocalypse, and Itisdpayne.
I've got myself a tractor that I'm gonna go travel to the Costco.
Not a tractor.
Yep, I got myself an old John Blue. It's fireproof, and it goes down hills real smooth like.
Yeah, not too fast at all. Real safe. The brakes work, right?
Sometimes. Only when my brother has a stroke.
Which is what a way to open the episode. Oddly,
did I tell you I was in World War III?
3? Oh, I missed the memo on that one.
Oh, we skipped 2 and right to 3. 2 was boring. We just got a bunch of movies.
But yeah, if you're just stumbling upon us, yeah, we are watching through different directors' movies. Itisdpayne found David Lynch's one PG movie.
G.
Oh, gee, just no parental guidance.
It's probably his only
because there is talk
Disney movie.
There is talk of adult themes in it, so I thought maybe. Yeah.
I believe it's G.
Okay, because it does open with like a medical emergency.
Yeah. Oh wait, maybe IMDb. It says it's G. I don't know. It is a Disney film.
Yeah.
Does this mean that Alvin is a Disney princess?
I hope Rose is. She was a very sweet lady.
Yes. Yes. It took me seconds like, who's Rose?
But yeah, so we watched The Straight Story. Very much a very different movie after watching Eraserhead last week.
Yeah. I'll save this for when we get to Spoiler Town.
Okay. But yeah, I think we also said this is the only movie that we have in our list that was not written by David Lynch and that he was only credited with directing on. Mm-hmm. I think he definitely wrote Eraserhead, and I think I saw he had writing credits at the very least for the next 3 that we have coming up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. We were yapping and planning things quite a bit before hitting record, so now my brain is kind of empty. I used a lot of creative juices in that end. I guess for a silly thing, I guess I would ask you, are you a ride-on mower kind of guy, or are you a push mower kind of guy?
I'm hey, I'm gonna cut the lawn kind of guy.
Yeah, I have somebody that does my lawn, but when I did do my own lawn when I first moved in and thought I was brave enough to handle it, I had one of those push mowers that didn't take gasoline or anything, just the ones that are like mobile. And then I would, as best as my ability, if I cut my grass frequently enough, I would try to let it stay there to help fertilize the other grass. And that was when I was an optimistic person who wasn't so stressed out with life.
Yeah, the only time I cut grass was with a push mower. And yeah, that was really the only time I did it.
I have done a ride-on mower before when I was in my childhood home, but I was too small at the time to be able to use it. Because I don't know if you know this, but for safety reasons, at least modern lawnmowers, I don't know about his from 1966, but modern ones, they have a coil where unless someone is heavy enough, then it connects the coil to the battery to allow it to start. So my dad would be like, hey, go mow the lawn. And I would like lean forward and it would just keep stopping. And I was like, I don't know why it doesn't work. And then my family was like, because the lawnmower knows not to allow children on the lawnmower.
Yeah, I figured I would be okay doing a ride mower, but it's like there's a part in my head that will be there for like the first couple times of like I'm gonna hit the fence. Like, how close can I get to fence? Even
Mm.
though, like, my brain is, like, all, and, like, I understand the thing isn't super fast, but there's still the part of me is like, what if I get too close to fence? And then all of a sudden the fence is just pulled under, and next thing I know, I am fence lawnmower man.
That's what I think about weed whackers, but then I always forget that most weed whackers are plastic spool. Like there's not
Yeah.
metal or anything in them. So I'll go to like up to the side of the house and I go, "Oh my god, I'm going to tear my house apart." And I go, "Oh, wait, no, it just fell off because it's a piece of plastic that gets worn
Yeah.
down after a while."
Is this what you're telling me, that lawnmowers are just a piece of plastic?
Not lawnmowers, weed whackers.
I
But
know.
what I have to ask you is, would you be willing to ride on this lawnmower for 5 weeks?
No.
What? You don't want to go from Iowa to Wisconsin on a lawnmower?
No. That thing didn't even look comfortable. The first one didn't look comfortable, and neither did the second one.
I do like his decision for when he got tired of the first one.
Yeah.
It was a very dramatic way to be like, you know what? I hate this thing. But again, that could get into spoiler town.
Yeah.
So if anyone's not familiar with this movie at all, even if you're a fan,
not surprised.
yeah, even if you're a fan of David Lynch, this probably wouldn't come up on like your list of movies or like required watching if you're a fan of this director. It's like you said earlier, it's like G-rated, it's a Disney film, it's a biography. I didn't look into how like honest of a biography it was, but it's a biography that like I didn't know what we were getting into. And then it got to the meat of the story, and I was like, oh, it's called The Straight Story because his last name is Straight.
Yeah.
So it's a very, like, on-the-nose kind of biography.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and, yeah, the person who wrote it, whoever Sweeney is, Mary Sweeney, yeah, is one of the writers. She went and interviewed Alvin Straight, who's a real person. It's like growing in Wisconsin, and easily connected with the stoic, nonverbal, stubborn, idiocentric American character. And so it was just like, so pretty much I think they got his personality pretty close.
Okay. It looks like some of the numbers were a little fudged for the movie. I thought for some reason in the movie they said he traveled almost like 300 something plus miles. At least on the Wikipedia it says 240 miles.
Yeah.
And it does look like they changed some of the names of the locations, which is totally fine. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not going to be picky about that. But yeah, it does say he was in fact 73 with a lot of the ailments as they were described in the movie. Visiting his brother after his brother had a stroke. And they do say it was specifically on his 1966 John Deere riding lawnmower.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because this first one did break 4 days after. Okay, yeah, and it looks like they jumbled around some of the few events, like where the Social Security check.
There was a theatrical production of his story, and they call it The Shoulder.
Oh, that makes sense because that's pretty much all he travels on.
Mm-hmm.
So in 1994 is when he did the lawnmower trip, and then in 1995 he attempted to drive him to Sun Valley, Idaho, but he turned back because it was too cold.
No. It also says on this Wikipedia, it says plans for the movie began in 1995, and Strait signed a contract that said he would receive $10,000 plus 10% of the movie's profits, but died before the movie's completion.
Did Rose get it?
I don't know. The Wikipedia does not say one way or the
Yeah,
other.
it is a Disney movie, so
Contracts.
let's see. This movie, when did it come out?
99.
In the 90s? 99? I think Disney, they were still a powerhouse, but probably still cared about their image. Not as much now. But anyway, Yeah. It's we're here to talk about the straight story, and shall we get straight to rolling some dice?
Whoa, whoa, whoa. So, again,
What?
if you happen to stumble upon us, or it's been a little while since you've joined us, we roll dice to decide who gets to give the short summary of the movie. We kind of already gave it because, biography and preemptive to the movie. But whoever rolls highest on a 12-sided dice gets to chat about the movie. We're doing 12-sided dice because we are doing a series where we're watching movies by 12 different directors, one for each month of the year. And September is David Lynch month.
Yep.
So this is movie 2 in our David Lynch marathon.
Mm-hmm.
How did you roll this week?
Well, technically, you did say my number. I rolled a 2.
A 2? You're not having any luck.
I know.
I rolled an 8. So once again, it's me. All right.
Maybe I gotta switch dice.
I thought you switched dice every week.
No.
Oh.
I roll the same one every time. Here, I have this other one that I forgot
Or
was
is it
here.
your D20s you would change all the time? Because you had, like, Stinky Cheese and you had...
Yeah, I have names for all my D20s, but it's just, I grab whatever's closest, and I'm just like, then I just keep rolling that D12.
Alright. So yeah, I guess I'll go ahead and get into the summary of the movie, like 1 or 2 sentences to avoid spoilers, but again, biography, so if you've heard the story before, like if you're local to Iowa or Wisconsin, you probably have heard this story
I never
before.
heard of the story until I watched it on Sunday.
Yeah, and then Dpayne has a set of questions for me. We'll see how much they apply, because again, this is a bit of a different format of a movie. It's not that we don't like biographies, we just haven't watched them.
I haven't watched a ton. Yeah.
So as far as the straight story goes, basically what we have is we are brought into a very rural setting where we get to meet Alan Strait, the main character of the movie, as we learn about his like old age, a lot of the ailments he's going through, and a lot of his like personality aspects very quickly, very short beginning of the movie. And all of it culminates into him hearing that his brother, who he's lost touch with for a long time, had a stroke, and he wants to kind of make amends and decides that he's going to make his trip his own way. He can't get a driver's license, so his next best bet is a lawnmower. And of course, he runs into some interesting people along the way and runs into a couple obstacles, but yeah. We follow his journey and kind of get a lot of heartwarming lessons along the way. I guess that's how I would phrase them.
Works for me. All right. So, if this was the only movie you watched of this director, would you watch the rest of their catalog?
I don't think so. And not in terms of this being a bad movie. It's a perfectly fine movie for what it is. But it does to me, like... So, I don't know what the category of this is, but I've heard some books can be like this when it comes to biographies, where it just feels like a very, like, introductory story into who this person is. So, I know the point of this movie is to talk about his journey, but it feels like we get a very, like, watered down version of what it was like, because there's a lot of time skips, there's a lot of, like, moments, and there's a lot of, like, there's not a lot of struggle. Like, he has hiccups, but it doesn't feel like we get to be with the main character. It just feels like it feels like we are the cameraman while this poor man is just going across across state lines, and we're just sitting there with the camera going, yes, keep going. Yes.
Do it.
So I think if this was the same story but had more in-depth moments, maybe I'd like it better. But yeah, that's me. It's a very quintessentially, like, early 2000s, look at this hard story and learn from it kind of movie. Kind of like, I think if as an adult I rewatched, what was it? I'm blanking on the movie. Like, Remember the Titans. Mm-hmm. Like, that's a very nostalgic movie to me, and I remember really liking it. But I think as an adult with a fully formed brain, I'd be like, I think as a kid, I watched this, and I think Remember the Titans is also a Disney movie. But I think as an adult, I'd be like, wow, they thought they were solving racism, but it's just it's just football.
They did solve it. and they cut that man's hair.
Sunshine.
Who could throw the ball far.
But, you know, like, that kind of quintessential, like, it's a very feel-good story, but, D-Payne and I watched a lot of A24, so if we're gonna have a feel-good...
We'll watch some more.
But if we're gonna have a feel-good story, usually we like a little more gravitas.
Yeah, like Ghost Story.
Yes, exactly. How about you?
No, I wouldn't watch more. Pretty much for all the same reasons you said. It's
a very 2000s movie, like early 2000s movie specifically.
Mm-hmm. That, and it's like watching it, like, this doesn't, there's like parts that do feel Lynchian, but at the same time it's like Lynch light.
Yeah, like you have some interesting side characters, you have some like interesting like oddities, you have cool transition scenes. Although I will say the very beginning of the movie, I was nauseous and had to look away from the screen until they stopped flying through the wheat fields.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, if this was an IMAX, I would have thrown up.
Yeah, and like there's certain parts, like, I don't want to keep comparing like things to Twin Peaks, because that's just what the only thing I watched of his before that, and Dune. But the beginning dialogue, like, it did remind me a little bit of like Wim and Eraserhead, like when they first started having those conversations. Like, I'm curious if like in his movies, like, if when we're introduced to characters, if they just have like awkward interactions with each other,
talking past each other.
Yeah.
I do love the very beginning where he's like slamming on the door, checking on his buddy, and she's like, she's out of town. Did I ask for her?
I know. I was like, I'm like, that old man isn't acting. Like, that is an old man that they just told, go get your buddy. Alvin, what are you doing on the floor? We gotta go 911. Just shut up. And it's like, yeah, so there was like...
I was gonna say, I think as you wrap up, it's a good transition into the next question that we usually ask each other.
Mm-hmm. Which is, how much did you root for the characters? And you know what? I'm going to give maybe a little twist. What was your favorite Alvin interaction?
My favorite Alvin interaction
or
was
most memorable.
Him haggling with the twins.
I don't remember what the twins were.
When he has to get it repaired, when he's like 5 minutes from his brother.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Because it gives the same, like, I feel like I run into that kind of interaction where, because of the way I physically look, again, out of my control very much, you know, Alvin's age is out of his control. People are like, oh, you need this, you need that for your vehicle or your mode of transportation, I replaced this for you, blah, blah, blah. And then you start asking questions and they go, you make a good point. I guess I don't have to charge you that much money. Or I guess I shouldn't upcharge you. Like, I remember I was getting my HVAC replaced in my house, and the salesman was like, you could have this many, like, insert units here for your house. And we're like, we live in a 1-floor house. Do we need something that strong? He's like, but you could get the air to your other parts of your rooms faster. We're like, we live in a 1-floor house. we don't need more power. We just need it to work.
Yeah.
So then him having that interaction felt like that. But yeah, it does feel...
I just need thy room with the computer to be cold.
Yeah. It does feel unfair to say rooting for characters, again, given a biography. Also, granted, these characters might be dramatized a bit, but hard to say. How about you? What's your favorite Alvin interaction?
When he goes to the bar and orders milk, and he's like, were you in World War II? And they have like war trauma at the bar.
I know, that's why I was like, are you sure this is only a G-rated movie? Because the stuff he was talking about, I was
and
like,
then it's like, it's just like you hear the airplanes like there's gunfire in the back. And so
I did hear an interesting fact relating to that and the way that they opened up with each other. I heard that a lot of veterans, they did a study, ended up when they were forced to travel back from World War II conditions, a lot of transportation was a lot slower, right? Like if you had to cross the sea via boat and all of that, you were forced to talk to people that had also experienced that, and that's how they were able to kind of compartmentalize a lot of their trauma. So it made a lot of sense to me when you have Alvin doing it in the movie, where he's like, "Oh, somebody else," and that's the only time he'll talk about it, because otherwise he's like, nobody else will understand.
Yeah.
So that I was like, oh, that feels very believable, because I think they also had a mentality where they were like, it's impossible to describe what we saw unless you were there.
Mm-hmm.
So for him to be this older gentleman to be like, let's go get a beer, and he sits there and they just go, have you talked about it in a while? He's like, I haven't talked about it ever. And I was like, oh, this is gonna get hard. This is gonna get rough.
Yep. I just also thought it was fun where he's like, you want a beer? No, I don't touch the stuff.
Until
He needed some liquid courage.
I thought that was given what I understand for a lot of recovering people, that it's not good to even just have the one. But again, Alvin is his own man.
Well, there's a reason why in real life he died 2 years after the journey. So, anyway, but I just realized this is Lynch's second and last family-friendly film.
Oh, second.
Oh, apparently The Elephant Man was a family-friendly film.
Oh, it's okay. I'm okay we didn't watch that one. I feel like I would come with opinions. I believe that one, I think there's like a lot of discussion about the representations of disability.
Like a lot of the movies that came out around that time.
Yeah, so it's okay that we didn't watch that one and we watched this one. I guess the next question that we usually ask each other does feel unfair, given it being a biography.
What would you give the plot?
I didn't like the time skips. It really felt like diary excerpts back to back in a movie. Did I appreciate the Lynch versions of transitioning between scenes and the fade in, fade out that he likes to do? Yeah, that's fun. But I think I kind of alluded to it earlier, where it just feels like reading little excerpts of someone's life without actually looking at their life.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, when I was watching this, I'm like, I realize what this is. Like, even beside, like, if I didn't know it was like based off real events, I'm like, this is a man that is the start of all these characters he meets. He is the first weird interaction that is going to cause them to tailspin into some Lynchian horror reality. But he is like the horseman of just like, you can get off. I'm giving you the advice. This is your warning.
This is your final chance. If you don't heed my advice, I can't speak to what happens next.
Yeah, it's like, hey, remember, family's like a bunch of sticks. And then it's like, if that girl doesn't go back, it's like she's just going to be hunted by stick people. The twins are going to like leak oil out of their nostrils or something. I don't know. But that's like, that's like in the, I forget by what interaction. Oh, it was by the priest. I'm like, he is the start of all the, like, he is the top of the hill, and everyone is about to go down into badness as they fail all their sanity rolls. And maybe they'll come out of it different.
Maybe. But he does feel like a messenger in this movie.
Yeah.
Like, even though he's the main character, it doesn't, I don't know. He feels, yeah, you're right, like the kind of like folktale, like, I was wandering and this traveler just came up to me and told me my fortune.
Mm-hmm. Or it's like, gave me life advice. And it's like, I know that man, he stayed in my garage. He wouldn't come inside. Why? It's because your house is cursed.
I'll just take the phone call out here. Thank you very much.
Here's a couple bucks. And lastly, how likely would you recommend this movie to others?
Again, it's like an overwhelmingly like fine movie. I don't know. I would I kind of am curious about the theatrical play as far as an adaptation of it. If he was able to have someone write his story as a book, like, I think that I might like reading it more.
Yeah.
If it goes more in depth as far as like I've listened to some autobiographies where it goes from like me as a young adult to me in my like 20s and like, you know, little excerpts about their journey through life. I think I would have enjoyed that from him more, especially given that he clearly has a very rich history rather than just two sentences about his past.
With sound effects.
With sound effects. Whatever happened to you and your brother? Well, you see, Cain and Abel.
Don't you see? Why can't you see? Sir, you haven't said it. Why can't you see? For who the bell tolls.
Would you recommend this movie to people?
No.
Like, it's fine.
There's nothing wrong with the movie. It's just, I don't know any of my friends that have been like, no, this is a movie worth watching. And I don't think it's a movie like I wouldn't have watched this movie if it wasn't on the list for the stuff that for this month. And I do think it's interesting to get a full picture of Lynch's work, because I feel like we hear a lot of like The Blue Velvet, Mulholland Drive, Eraserhead of this, the surreal dreamlike stuff. And there is moments in this movie where we do get that dreamlike quality.
The thunderstorm.
Yeah, the thunderstorm, the lady that hits a deer every time she goes down this road.
This is every month. I have to drive 4 hours or 40 miles to and back. And I was kind of like, you could try and drive at different times of the day and ask your boss to not make you drive during dawn and dusk. But
not in the 90s.
Not in the 90s.
But yeah, so there's like still parts in there where it's like, I don't know if that was real, but it's
a story.
Lynch put it in there, or rather the authors did. So yeah, but still, I don't think I would be like, I need to watch this movie. And it's like, yeah, it's a weird thing where it's like, it's not like The Cell or Ghost Story or any of Wes Anderson's films where I'm like, I wish I didn't watch that.
Yeah, like, it's not bad.
Moonlight Kingdom. Yeah, but there really isn't anything here.
It's yeah, like I said, like I keep saying, it's just a very quintessential like 2000s like live action Disney movie, and it's hard to say like anything beyond that. It's not life-changing in my opinion.
Yeah. Well, guess what? We have about 30 minutes to expound more on the straight story. So
off to Spoiler Town.
Town.
Before we leave next week, if you don't want to be spoiled for this, next week we are watching Lost Highway by David Lynch. And you said this kicks off kind of a maybe trilogy.
So, yeah, this I don't think it's an official trilogy, but it's like these movies, the movies from Lost Highway on, I think a lot of people say are connected and kind of build into a trilogy.
Okay.
So, at least I read that like a couple times when I was preparing the list. And so, time to start the train in 3, 2, 1. Spoiler Town away. Toot toot. I feel like we said everything.
Yeah, like technically we didn't talk about spoilers in like specifics in any way, but I guess if we want to say anything specific that's spoiler-y, I guess, did you also feel like some of the storytelling was to pad time?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I feel like everything, like the stuff that wasn't like a life story or like, I'm gonna give you some old man wisdom. Like, it felt like, oh, this would be funny. Or
Yeah, like we could have cut out the bikers.
yeah, I was like, okay, the bikers, they're just there, and
they're just there to be like, what's it like to get old? And it's like,
yeah,
you think about being young all the time. I'm like, I feel
it's
like that did
it feels like they were filming the scene, and then someone told Lynch, it was like, hey, do you know there's actually a bike race that's supposed to be happening here?
And he goes, oh, I can't move the shoot day because we only have this limited window. I guess we'll have them pull over.
Yeah. And then it's like the same thing when it's like, oh, it's raining. Hey, we know there's this like abandoned barn up there.
Yeah, like there was no discussion. That's what I was saying. Like, even though he clearly has moments where he's like uncomfortable or going through it, we don't get to see it at all. He just goes, inconvenient, and then fade to black and fade back in.
Yeah, because I think that was like supposed to be a callback to the beginning when he's watching the thunderstorm with Rose, and that's when he gets the call that his brother had a stroke. Mm-hmm. And I think right before the phone call happens, he's like, oh man, I love thunderstorms, or it's just real peaceful to watch with you. While the thunder is crashing, we hear Rose talking to someone on the phone as he's having war flashbacks with the thunder going on, and he's just like, and like Rose is like, dad, and he's just like, I'm back in the trenches.
And then the whole like awkward silence of like, what are you gonna do that your brother had a stroke? And then like 24 hours later, he's like, we're going to hardware store. She's like, what are we building, Dad? He's like, you'll see, you'll all see. And sorry, like, there is something so bizarre about I know, again, David Lynch, but there's something so bizarre about the conversation. He's like, that's a mighty fine grabber you got. And he's like, yeah, I only got 2 of them. He's like, I'll buy one off of you. It'll take me weeks to restock it. $5. Oh, 10. And I was just like, is this just to like fill time? Because this didn't feel like it added anything to the characters.
And he only uses the grabber once.
He only uses the grabber once, from what we can see. The bundle sticks. And then the other thing is like, there's the whole townsfolk, the one older guy who kind of feels like the dad from Eraserhead. What do you need all the gasoline for? What do you need the grabber for?
The old man that doesn't know how to like talk at a normal pitch. He doesn't know an inside voice.
And nobody responds to him. It's like he's talking to nobody.
Yeah, I know some people that get talked to like that.
Yeah, I think... but you did remind me, like, I did like the interaction with the deer lady, but again, it's one of those where you're kind of like, that's funny. And then you just know that he ate the deer.
Well, they show you him eating the deer.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. Like,
yeah,
it didn't have the same kind of like intention that it seemed to have with the first like hitchhiker he ran into. Mm-hmm. Was it confirmed that she's like pregnant at a young age, or is that just inferred?
I thought because doesn't he ask her? Yeah, I thought he asks her something about being pregnant, and she's like, nobody knows, and like everyone would hate me.
I might have zoned out because I was like, oh, she's pregnant and running away from home, and there was, again, not the fault of like his story or anything, but I like looked away for a minute and I looked back and they were still talking. I was like, oh, they're still talking, and then he goes, all right, go ahead. Do you want to just live your life eating wieners on the side of the road? I was like...
With old men.
I was like, that's a weird sentence, Disney. We should probably have taken that one back to the writing room.
And
then something, family's precious. You can't replace family, something. And then there's me, who's jaded, who has trouble communicating with her family, listening to these lessons about how... Family is
a bunch of sticks.
It was a wild way to open his conversation with a young woman to go, My wife had 14 babies. I was like,
Yeah,
oh.
I was like, oh, your poor wife.
Because
It's like only half of them lived. It's like, still.
it's what was it? Somebody messaged me recently and they went, I know you've said you've had this problem before, but what is it about us that people overshare with us? And I was like, according to my therapist, apparently we give off a very like comfortable like energy to us, and like apparently because I'm pretty honest about things, but I have a line. Like I don't go up to random people and go, "Did you know my wife had 14 babies?" I would start off with, me and my wife also struggled with family. Like like there's a lead up, right?
Nah, I like how he does. He's like, we had 14 babies. 7
Again,
of them died.
if-
We only know one.
It feeds into your story of him being like this traveling like doomsayer.
Crazy person. And then like he doesn't even stop with his kids, and then he's just like that, or like
And then
his, and then he's like,
He's
my
selling
daughter
business.
Rose.
Yeah. Rose is not there to say whether or not she's
We-
comfortable to have her business out there.
Yeah, we got Rose lore as like we go back and she's still staring out the window looking at kids. That sounds really bad.
Wait, in terms of if you haven't seen this movie and you're listening to this part anyway,
Yeah.
yeah, Rose, she has at least a speech impediment, and she seems to maybe not pick up on every social cue. Nothing is specifically stated in the movie, but she is like, what's
They
the
give
phrasing?
hints of it.
She's self-sufficient. Like she can,
Yeah.
she is a fully functioning adult. But it does track with like the early 90s that they didn't understand people well enough and just assumed, oh, you're not 100% like us, so therefore you must be unfit as a parent.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so then the bit that Payne is like, oh, I probably shouldn't say that sentence, is Rose, we see one scene where she sees a kid playing outside and she starts crying and we're not given any context, and then he goes into this tangent with a teenage girl to be like, my poor daughter, her 4 children were taken away from her and it wasn't even her fault. She had someone babysit and one of the babies got so burnt. I was like, oh my god. This is
I thought the house caught on fire.
The
too.
house caught on fire. One of the babies was severely injured, and CPS decided it was her fault, even though she wasn't the one watching the kids when the fire broke out.
And it's like, it also begs the question of, okay, Alvin, why weren't you a good fallback to watch the kids?
He's also 70 at this
Not
point.
at that point.
This is also true. But it did
He
sound
could've
like his
been-
wife is sick for a while.
Yeah. And also, if like she had 14 kids, half of them died. That means there's 6 other kids somewhere running around not talking to dad.
He said they all moved on with their lives. They're all grown up and whatnot.
Yep. We couldn't get them royalty checks to give them in the movie. But yeah.
It was a crazy introduction in terms of like how he was gonna go around. I assumed we were gonna get crazy lore drops every time we talked to a new person, but they were so much more tame after that. Like he doesn't really talk to the deer lady.
He gets talked to.
He gets screamed
or talked at.
Yeah. Sorry. I tap on my door. I play Public Enemy. I pray to every deity I've ever heard of. And I just keep hitting deer. And I was like, you can't find it. I mean, it is like the 90s and the setting of the story. Maybe it is that hard to find a new job, but it was just...
It also made me giggle, like, kind of...
How many cars does she own?
It's the same one. She goes to the twins. That's why she's all pissed off. But yeah, it did make me laugh a little bit while he's like cooking the deer, and then it has like the fake deer just standing around him staring at him. He's like, what are you looking at? Leave me alone.
And he's added the antlers to his trailer
Yeah.
to really put emphasis. He doesn't really do a lore drop with the John Deere repairman either. He just the guy keeps offering him help, and he goes, I'm a stubborn old man. I don't want you to drive me.
Yeah, we get the lore drop with the other World War II man, because that happens at the same time.
Yeah. we get that lore drop, to which, like, oh, I remember Strider was, like, hanging out on his PC, and he just turns over during the Deer Lady part. He's like, your movie seems intense. I was like, it is literally just this one part. You just turn your screen to one part of a woman screaming.
I want to steal that for one of my own games.
Have a lady just run out. I can't stop. I just can't.
You can't stop. I keep running over children.
Whoa.
Oh.
And then, yeah, we have the lore drop with the other veteran, and then the other lore drop is with the priest, where he decides to take a nap by the cemetery.
And where he's like, do you mind if I stay here? No, you got quiet neighbors, or whatever he said.
Yeah. Oh, I know your brother. He's like, you know my brother. He's a Methodist. He's like, yeah, he hangs out anyway.
Yeah. So, and then, like, I was also half expecting, like, when he goes into the bar, that the old man at the end, like.
Oh, that was gonna be his brother.
Yeah, like, not the bartender. I thought the guy at the end
was getting coffee.
And it's just like, have you heard of whatever my brother's name is? And it's just like, oh yeah, in fact, he's right over there. And it's just, I feel like that bartender also wasn't acting. I think he was just a bartender they found. Is like, you okay being on TV? Oh, sure.
I could definitely see that.
And then I was also expecting when the tractor kind of kicks out like half a mile or even like less than a mile away from his brother's house. I thought the other guy on the tractor was going to be his brother. And then it's just like they haven't, I think they said they haven't spoken in 10 years.
10 plus, yeah.
10 plus years for some argument that he's like, I just want to put it behind me.
Yeah, something alcohol fueled, I think he mentioned too.
Yeah, he's just like, I'm scanning through the stinking.
Are there any quotes on IMDb?
I'm just trying to see if I can find the name of the brother.
Lyle.
Lyle. He's like, Lyle, and there's just like, and then just like out from this like shack that looks like stinking Ash is gonna go fight Evil Dead, and he's just like, Alan, like not even like who are you? It just instantly knew who it was, and just like comes out and just like bah. But yeah, it's were you sorry, my brain.
I thought I recognized. Yeah, no, you're fine. I thought I recognized the woman who plays Rose in this movie. She's Carrie from 1974's Carrie, the horror movie.
Yes, I know of the movie. I can't remember if I watched it.
I haven't watched it in its full. I've seen clips.
Yeah,
but I was curious. I also looked up the woman who is the deer woman, and it doesn't look like she has many credits.
What?
Oh, it looks like she's on a TV series in 2023. Okay. So I don't think she has a lot of like leading character credits. But yeah, we don't have to jump directly into quotes. I guess I would ask you I had a question in mind. The congestion is starting to hit me again because it's getting later.
Oh, well, while you think of that, I was looking at trivia.
Okay.
And apparently they shot the film sequentially, or filmed in sequence. But then this film also was shot along the actual route that Alvin took. That's
fun. Mm-hmm. It does look very Midwest, so that doesn't surprise me.
Oh, okay. Here's some trivia of why would Lynch take this? The other question I have is why would people give this to Lynch? Like, they saw what he's known for.
Yeah, Eraserhead was out at this point. You're right.
So was Elephant Man, Dune. There's another movie. Twin Peaks would have finished.
Okay.
which there are some camera sequences in here that like kind of remind me of some of the shots of Twin Peaks. But the trivia is, when asked why he decided to direct a movie like this, he seemed very different, which seemed very different from the rest of his project. Lynch said that when he read the screenplay for the first time, he felt such a strong emotion that he decided to be the one responsible to bring that emotion to screen.
Okay. I don't know if you hear dogs barking, and there are people that like, I think, raise puppies nearby so that they're constantly walking dogs, and sometimes I just hear dogs yelping a lot. I don't know if it comes through my mic or not.
I haven't heard anything.
Okay.
Did you remember your question?
No, I'm gonna just look at quotes for a little bit, because how much time do we have left on the timer?
We got like 12 minutes around there.
Oh, we still have a little bit of time. Questions. Oh, I guess I brought this up earlier. How much did you enjoy watching him put his original lawnmower out of its misery?
That was fun. I wasn't expecting it.
I know.
Rose, go ahead.
Rose just sitting there. What's he doing with that gun? I don't know.
And then just boom, boom. Cops don't even show up. They're just like, oh, we know.
Catches fire.
But yeah, it was interesting. It was fun, and it was just like, I'm like, I don't think that's how it would work to set on fire, but hey, if it works, it works.
If it works, it works.
I also like the John Deere salesman that he met, where he's just like, that whole interaction where it's just like, hey, you trading in your old tractor? And it's like, that's a little late for that.
No, I don't have any spare parts to trade in. It's okay.
Yeah. And then, but reading this, Richard Farnsworth, who was the Alvin, apparently he just had hip surgery in real life, and so they needed a special tractor seat that was made for him.
Oh, that's nice for him.
And originally he was going to turn down the film because he didn't like the language in Blue Velvet. Only on several personal searches from Lynch and the other writers that the film would contain no cursing did he agree to it.
Oh.
Let's see. Just like seeing this. Oh, here's another neat thing. So I also saw in here, I don't know if it was on Wikipedia or on IMDb, but one of the trivia things that he said this was his most experimental film, or his most experimental movie, which is crazy to think of some of the things we just
compared
saw
to,
in last week's movie. But for the DVD of this movie, there are no special features on it. And there's also no scene selections because he's like, this needs to be experienced as one whole experience rather than into scenes.
Okay. So at least he seemed really respectful of trying to get this man's story out there and in its entirety.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's not a ton of quotes, but that someone did write out the full Dear Lady quote. And again, it's Alvin straight. Can I help you, lady? Dear woman, as it's written. No, you can't help me. No one can help me. I've tried driving with my lights on. I've tried sounding my horn. I scream out the window. I roll the window down and bang on the side of the door and play Public Enemy real loud. I've prayed to St. Francis of Assisi, St. Christopher too. What the heck? I've tried everything a person can do, and still every week I plow into at least one deer. I have hit 13 deer in 7 weeks driving down this road, mister, and I have to drive down this road every day, 40 miles, back and forth to work. I have to drive to work, and I have to drive home. Where did they come from? And then she checks his pulse. He's dead, and I love deer. And she just drives away. She just leaves. That's it.
It's the only time Alvin is speechless.
Yeah, you're right. It was 10 years of them not talking because the quote says, anger, vanity, you mix that together with liquor, and you've got two brothers that haven't spoken in 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, what did you think the outcome was going to be of him going downhill at maximum speed with a full trailer hitched to a lawnmower?
I thought he was gonna run into the
Burning
fire
building?
truck,
Oh, okay.
because there was like the fire truck by the edge, like the, and it was one of those things where I myself, like, because they mentioned earlier that it's like, yeah, Rose, she had like the house fire, and like that's how she lost the kids, and then it's like, okay, is this going to be something they touch on? Because like we know about the fire, we know about the stuff like that, we know that he has like some sort of war trauma, and like as he's coming down here, he's getting the fire, the brakes are going out and everything, and I'm like, oh, okay, we're gonna get something like that, and he's just like, oh man, I lost control, and it's like, you don't have brakes on there, no. Where'd you come from?
Ways far away.
Yeah, it's like another one of those things where it felt like a little bit of padding the runtime, where they're just like, oh, where'd you come from? And they're just like, and they're like, here, further. I came from wherever it was.
Yeah, eventually he goes, that's past the grotto. And he's like, yeah.
And I'm like, is this like an important place up there? Because like
they've mentioned the grotto at least like
multiple times,
yeah.
and it's just like, it's just
we
like
just see the sign.
Yeah, it's just like a little fart in the wind as we just go past it. But it's probably something more important up there. But yeah. So, but yeah, I don't really have anything else to say about the movie. So.
Yeah, it's not to make a pun of it, but it is straightforward.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a movie, like, I guess some final thoughts, like, even though we said we wouldn't really recommend it, but I don't think it would hurt not to watch it.
Yeah, I think we both said, like, it's a movie, like, of its time, and it's not a bad movie, but it's not our kind of movie.
Mm-hmm.
It would be interesting to see what we pick. D-Payne and I have already started planning for some of next year's movies. And
we're running a little bit late.
I might change one of my prompts. Maybe I'll put in potentially us watching a documentary next year. Maybe I'll put in a biography specifically for next year and see if we watch more biographies, maybe we'll come to appreciate the straight story more.
Yeah, it's...
Oh, we have watched biographies. I'm a liar. We've watched Malcolm X, and then we've watched The Black Klansman.
Oh, yeah.
Where Black Klansman is Black Klansman is a bit of an autobiography because the guy wrote the book himself, and then Spike Lee directed it, and then Malcolm X was a biography. That one, yeah, there's a lot to fit into that movie, and he still did a good job.
Mm-hmm.
But no, maybe more biographies will be good for us, because I know when it came to reading, the more nonfiction I read made me better at reading other nonfiction. Because when I first started reading nonfiction, I was like, oh, this is kind of tough. But the more you kind of like read within that genre, the more you're like, oh, same thing with poetry. Until you've read poetry, it's hard to know how to read poetry.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm reading a book right now where it's like the person's like, can you believe that my fiance doesn't like my sweater made out of human hair? I haven't made it far enough to figure out why society is using human body parts as clothing and furniture, but it's I've read one of their books before, and then I saw it on Hoppy or Hoppo, whatever it's called. Hoopla. And I'm like, oh, I like this book. And it's a light read. Kind of get back into it all, because I read, or just failed to read, did not finish 2 books. But Any poops, that's a different conversation.
we'll have our bookish episode in the beginning of next year, maybe.
Yes. Pretty much like we got Lynch, and then three more directors.
No spoilers.
Mm-hmm. Three more directors, and then at the end of this year, we're going to do like an award show of, where we're going to be handing out awards for the movies that we watched, and then I think the start of 2026, we were going to. That's it. Weird to say. We're going to do our normal book episode thing, and then
before we get to more movies.
Yes, because we like this movie thing, and yeah, a little bit of a different format, but it'll be fun.
I guess we can start asking people now, because at the time of this, there's a little bit of time for comments and for us to see comments before we have to start filming next year's. If you have any silly movie prompts that you might be interested in us watching, let us know in the comments. Whether or not we already have them written down, hard to say. We've written down a whole bunch of different ideas that vary all across the stuff, but it could be fun if you had suggestions. I guess as an example, our early examples are like adapted from a board game or adapted from a book, things like that. You can go as specific as you want. We have had the was it your charity one where we had where we did an episode where we had oddly specific prompts.
Yes. That reminds me. We have another. Yeah, we have like a something else I gotta
schedule in.
Yeah. It's I don't know. When my phone died, I lost a bunch of my notes, but pretty much, yeah, we gotta come up with book prompts. So that's something else too. Like, well, I don't know when we're gonna get that, but it's probably at some point.
Maybe as a mini.
Yeah, I think that's what it's gonna be. So.
Oh, yeah, somebody asked me recently. I was at one of my final pottery classes. We were talking about horror movies. I said my favorite movie might be the original Alien.
Mm-hmm.
Which was interesting because the person next to me was like, "Yeah, I watch a lot of horror movies." I was like, "What's your favorite?" And they're like, "Oh, I really like Hereditary." I was like, "Okay, that's a classic." And they were like, "What about you?" I was like, "Oh, I think the classic Alien." And they were like, "Is it actually scary?" And I was like, "The first one is." Like, I didn't know where to go with that question. But yes. Somebody else asked, "Oh, did you watch the miniseries yet?" I was like, "Oh, no, I haven't had a chance to yet." And you and I had discussed the idea. So I guess also lots of comment options. Also leave a comment if you would be interested in us discussing the series within the Alien universe. Because we did have a mini episode for Romulus.
Yeah. Was that last year or was that this year?
I think that came out last year? Maybe.
It was last year.
Yeah. Time is flying. That's all I know.
Yep. And it ain't slowing down. Fortunately, we're just on Life Tractor, stopping by, talking about deer and sticks.
I feel like I'm on his first tractor, the red brand.
The red one? You don't even want to leave the house?
No, I feel like I'm trying to leave, and it just keeps going, nope. I haven't left my house in a little while. Well, I did leave my house the other day, but I did pick up groceries where they put it directly into my trunk, and then I immediately came home.
Yeah.
Safety and all that.
I don't have anything fun. I just go to work and I'm like, yep. You guys are at least getting me to the end of the year. Anyway.
Any time left on our timer, even though we branched off?
We have 3, 2, 1. Even though my phone is on mute, it still likes to play the thing. Silly phone problems. One of these days I'll figure out how to actually not have it play. But any poops.
I was trying to think of how to imitate a train whistle to say, like, we've arrived at the station. But my nose is like, hey, I think you should get a tissue soon. And I'm like, okay.
We can be the... Bum, 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 bum. Get off the dang train. We're done at Spoiler Town, you weirdos.
Have I started to sound more congested as we talk? I feel a little bit more congested than when
maybe
we
a
started.
little, but I'll be honest, I wasn't like, I was thinking more of road trip tractors. So,
That's totally fine.
if I didn't notice. If you guys noticed, give us the timestamp when Hop sounded more. Her nose was like no.
Yeah,
But
give us 30 comments right now. Homework
Yes.
assignment.
Anyway, we're gonna let Hop get some relief. Thank you everyone for watching and listening. Join us next week for Lost Highway. Thank you so much, everybody, and until next time.